Hi there, this is Gary MacDougall here, and what I want to talk to you about today is about tapping into your soul mind. Now, I talked a little bit about getting to the will of the divine last week. The will of the divine is like getting into your heart, listening to your heart awareness, listening to your heart and following your heart. That's the mind of God to me. That's the mind of the soul when you get into that soul. But how do you know when you're listening to your heart? And so when you listen to your heart, life starts to change. My life has changed in so many ways. I can share a little bit of that, but I want to get into that. So following your heart, about being a part of the solution on this planet, and how it can be so different the way you've been taught, the way you've been brought up in school, the way your parents might have taught you, and that's okay. People can call you strange. It can be looking a little different. It might scare some people. It's okay. Because when you follow your heart, when you're following the will of the divine, you're following like the wisdom in the mind of God. So it's like soul mind. And a little bit of what brought this on was we went to a mindful talk in our school, for our kids' school. And our kids' school is really inspiring because I've been thinking a lot about education because my kids are in school. In 2 years, we're going to have 3 kids in school. And I think a lot about it. I think a lot about how we're changing on this planet, how things are ascending. As people ascend, people have more rights. There's more freedom. You can think of back in the 60s when people started fighting for freedom, fighting against Vietnam, fighting against war. We haven't changed war much. But think about how women have more of a say, have more of a vote, have more of a voice in society. Think about how, there's still prejudice, but black people have, there's more equality. There's still a long way to go as far as freedom with society. There's still a long way to go as far as, living on this planet environmentally safe and sound and secure. So there's so much room for improvement. There's a big call right now from spirit or the soul mind for solutions. And when you start tapping in or you start ascending into the mind of the heart, the thought of service, the thought of the big mind, you start seeing the big picture of this world. You start thinking like, how can I help? How can I be of service? How can I help this world? So I want to talk to you today about how you can be a part of that solution and how you can find your place in the world by listening to your own heart. And it might be so different what anybody's ever told you, only because listening to your heart isn't exactly what maybe our parents did or what they taught in school because the educators didn't do it. Maybe they didn't want you to do it. There's a conspiracy about that. They wanted to dumb you down so you were in school and you were becoming a rote learner and you just remembered all these facts so that you could go be a good worker and work for these big companies and not really think about what you're doing, but just be a good employee. There's that conspiracy, or there's just like they just didn't tap into their soul, their creativity, their dynamic ideas on how we can change this world, how we can align with the world, align with the environment, and make big change in this world. So maybe you want to develop electric cars, or like the electric battery for the home. That really excited me this week, hearing that Elon Musk of Tesla batteries, Tesla cars, created this home battery that sold $800 million worth of batteries. They're only $3,000 each. So he sold a ton of them in a week, and they sold out until 2016. And there's so many people like him that want to change this planet. It could be you. I know it's me. And as we align with our soul, we start tapping into what part of the solution we can be. Now, you can think like you should put your heart into it. You don't even have to put your heart into it when you're following your soul. Your heart, your joy, your bliss, if you just follow your joy, your bliss, your aliveness, you're gonna be led to the solution on this planet. So whatever that is, whatever it is, whatever excites you. So following your excitement, following your bliss. So I'm going to speak to a couple of things that might hold you back from following your bliss. There's fear, there's uncertainty, because following your heart, nobody's followed your heart before. That's your job. So nobody's done that before. So there's not certainty. There's not like, okay, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to get an education, then I'm going to get a job, and then I'm going to climb the ladder, and I'm going to make this amount of money in my first year, in 5 years I'll make this. There's none of that. There's no certainty to it. You create your own certainty by blind faith. It's not just, and that's not a bad thing. It's like when you follow your heart, you're tapping into the mind of God. The same power that holds this whole universe together and causes all the planets to circle the sun. That sun power is in us. And when we tap into the mind of God, we're following that energy that arises. People call it Kundalini energy. they can refer to it as ascension. Your energy rises. As your feminine energy rises and your masculine energy comes down, you can get that guidance from above, from the planets. You can get from God, from spirit from above, but you can also get it from the earth. You follow that information, and anything that comes up, you just face with love and with courage. It could be fear, it could be trauma from the past, it could be your addictions. Just getting honest with yourself and honest with what you feel. That's the feminine side. And when we clear out all the dark side of the feminine, the light side, the creativity and your solutions start coming to you, and a feeling of service to this planet starts coming to you. But you can have all these great ideas and all this awesome creativity, but how do you really manifest? How do you make it happen? That's the divine masculine side. It's like having courage, having a heart, the lion energy, the buffalo energy, the strength. That is in whether you're a man or a woman, we all have that energy. And when we start activating that energy, we start letting go of fears and feelings of inadequacy or low self-worth or doubt or low self-esteem or whatever. We deal with all that dark side stuff. That power starts coming. We start trusting in that. We have certainty. Now, you can have certainty with your mind, but the universe doesn't respond just to the mind. I saw this thing by Greg Braden where he said the heart, when it's vibrating and it's open and it's loving, it's 500 times more powerful than the mind. Anything the mind can think. So you can have, there's a lot of things out there about success. What is it? Something about mindfulness, success, mindful success, whatever. Thinking positive thoughts, being successful, being success-minded. That's what I'm trying to say. But when you could it's so much more powerful if you listen to your heart. And be a success because your heart's vibrating love. It's powerful. You're listening to that. The universe responds to that. You become a creator of your reality. You start listening to your heart with everything to do, whether it be like planting plants in a garden. Listen to your heart and plant what you love. And over time, you're going to have nothing but love around you. Intend to have like a lovingly great amount of money in your life. That's kind of a sensitive topic. People have like a lot of negative beliefs around money, but money can be like awesome for service. It can be a blessing in your life. You can have a beautiful roof over your head, living in a beautiful place, in the city or in the country, wherever you want, because you're doing what you love. You're listening to your heart. You put in that service. And you activate this by certainty, but you feel certain. So how do you feel certain? It's a process. You might have to go through terror. When you change and leave that comfort of a job in the third dimensional paradigm of this is how it's going to work to the uncertainty of I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm going to follow my heart and it's going to work and I'm going to trust and I'm going to have confidence. So you follow it and you trust it because other people have done it, because I've done it and you've heard other people do it and it works and it keeps working. Money comes and ideas come and people come into your life and you make friends with all these beautiful, amazing people. It doesn't mean you have to let go of the people from your past. You just might not resonate with them. You might not vibrate with them, and that's okay. Still love them. You just might not spend as much time with them. Still care about them. So what else about certainty, about activating it? Yeah, I get really excited. There's so many solutions to this planet. So many people are waking up to alternative energy sources, to wind turbines and the electric battery for the house and solar panels and capturing free energy and lessening our need for oil. So we have zero emissions in the environment from oil. Changing the education system so kids are problem solving as young. They're doing projects that they love and they're excited about, and their heart is involved in, and they're learning without even knowing it. We have chickens in our yard, and our kids didn't want chickens. We got them, and all they do is spend time with the chickens now, chasing them and getting their eggs, and it's awesome. They're learning how to take care of an animal and where their food comes from and how to make soil. Chickens make great soil for a garden. So there's so much. We've changed so much since the 60s. There's been so much revolution. And there's so much more to go, and I just feel like as I heal all my doubts, all my fears, and get into that mind, the heart mind, miracles can happen on this planet. Imagine 50 years from now, 100 years from now, where we are like thriving with like organic gardens everywhere in the cities, in the countries, and the soil's not being tilled, so we're not releasing carbon. We're running on electric energy. That we're capturing free energy from the sun, from the wind, from the water. This technology's all there. It's just a matter of implementing it. And people being courageous enough to make this happen. So, yeah, Got to talk about illusion too, because it keeps coming up. People are like, this is all just an illusion. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you've been in like spiritual states where like your spirit rises so high, you go beyond this universe, you go out the Milky Way, you shoot out, you go on to nothingness. And if you've experienced nothingness, the black wall of just friggin' awesome, vast amazingness, if you've experienced that, that is real. But what I got to say about beyond the 9th dimension, 11th, 12th, 13th, all those higher dimensions, is this dimension, the 3rd dimension, pinch your skin, you can feel it, you can hurt yourself, is just as real as nothingness. Your spirit has come down from the planets, from the stars, and it comes into your body. There's a reason why you've chosen to come into your body. And when you get grounded and you take that deep breath and get mindful of this reality, of this beauty, of the I'm looking at my garden, it's so gorgeous outside, I can't take my eyes off it. And the sun, and the power of the sun, and the awesomeness of the earth. It's like, this is just as real as nothingness. And you've come into this body at this time for a reason, and it's written in your heart, it's written in your soul. And if you can just get into your body and make friends with the pain, so many people want to get out because the pain, because the light is illuminating us now. Our sun's crossed the Milky Way, the ecliptic of the Milky Way, and the light is illuminating this earth and this planet. So on the news it might look like it's getting darker and darker, and that's the old paradigm fighting to entrench the ways, but they're losing grip. They have to fight to try to keep it, but it's losing. There's a power greater than them. There's a power greater than governments. There's a power greater than bad people. It's the power of love. It's the power of God. It's the power that is in us, not separate, but in us. If we just tap into that and be certain when you follow your heart, things work out, and this world can get better. Because you make it that way. And you can accept life the way it is. Accepting that the way it is and becoming harmonious with it. And you can use any darkness you see out there. It's not an illusion. Anything that triggers your darkness inside can be medicine. It can help you heal your soul. If you stop blaming the government, stop blaming lawyers, stop blaming, bad people or cops or anything. And see how it triggers anger and frustration. Yeah, if somebody does a bad thing and it pisses you off or it upsets you, it's probably because it's a bad thing. But bad things can be stopped. And we can align with our hearts and do good things, loving things, and be a part of the solution, and be the change. But get real. We can get real with our feelings. Come down to the lower dimensions, into our body, into our feelings, into this ground. When you start vibrating higher, the energy is very high, but it's ungrounded. So just getting grounded, we sit on the earth, put our hands in the soil like it's grounded, walk in the ocean. We live in the Pacific Ocean and it's freezing all year. Take your shoes off and walk in the Pacific Ocean if you have the chance. That'll bring you down into your body. But make friends with the pain in your body and heal it. And then the divine feminine will come up and it'll give you the creative ideas to make your life better. You just start following that heart, following the love. So what else? You're part of the solution. This world's getting better. The world is beautiful. It's worth protecting. I have children. I'm going to protect this world for them. I'm going to speak honestly and courageously for them. And some people might not like it. I'm going to do it for love. And also another thing. I saw another thing about them trying to control the internet. We got to keep the internet free. It has to be kept free. Because we speak on it. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of crap on the internet, but there's a lot of honesty on the internet. And there's a lot of things you're not going to see in the news on the internet, and we got to keep it free. And we have power as people to keep this free. We have power to communicate our truth from our heart. And people on the internet are helping people raise frequency. There's a lot of shit, a lot of bullshit in the news. Every once in a while I turn it on and I'm like, oh, that's garbage. He's not speaking truthfully. But instead of condemning, sheeple, instead of condemning, calling government workers puppets for big corporations, they're all humans. And all humans, if we start spreading love and be really kind and be really honest and be really open, be really truthful, and they see it, it's attractive. So we got to depend on the power of attraction, the power of love, the power of goodness. It doesn't just have to come from India. It can come from Canada. It can come from the US. It can come from Europe. Basic human goodness, grounded on this earth in reality, this reality. Keeping it real on the internet. It's what we got to do. Keep it real, man. just because I flash the devil horns doesn't mean I'm satanic. It just means I follow my heart, and I believe in love, and I believe in our future. I believe in our kids. I believe in love. Did I say that twice? I said that 50 times in this video. You are loved. You are powerful. Let's create this awesome earth. Yeah. Ooh, they stealing. That's it.